for the closing keynote address, where we're going to talk about leveraging the omni-channel marketing to drive business growth post-pandemic. Well, the session would be taken by Leonard Kim, the managing partner from Influence Tree. Well, Leonard, it's over to you.
Hi everyone, Leonard Kim here, and I'm with Influence Tree, and I'll be speaking about leveraging omni-channel marketing to drive business growth post-pandemic. So with the economy and how everything is nowadays, a lot of things have been moving on to the digital world. And in the digital world, we've been seeing a huge transition with businesses getting online. Now, when we look at things online though, however, it's very hard to see something that sticks out and stands out and really impresses us. Most of the content that we see falls down at this level. However, if you really want to stand out, then you have to create content that's at this level that really stands out and showcases more of what you're really looking to drive home, and that's emotions within the user. So what you have to do before you focus on omni-channel marketing is focusing on creating the best pillar content that you can. I call it ethereal content. And that's content that stands out, that touches emotions and drives results. So to create that type of content, what we have to do is we have to focus on the ways to create content. There's video, there's audio, and there's written. So you have to choose which form of content works best for you. For example, right here, I'm in a video. And for video content to really stand out, you have to make it about 7 to about 15 minutes long. This talk will probably come out to about 12 to 15 minutes, somewhere in that time frame. Next, if you want to focus on writing, then you have to focus on content that's around 2,000 to 3,000 words. But how do you really go out there and create the content that really stands out? And what do you do with that content once you have it? So in order to really go and drive content home, what you have to do is you have to focus on making your content stand out. And in order to do that, you have to follow a content formula. So if you think about viral articles and viral videos, what really makes them stand out is probably the headline and the extremely interesting content that's within it. What that usually starts out with is a story. When we think about stories, I could share with you my own personal journey of being a marketer myself. I used to be earning $16.24 an hour over at American Honda, and I was working at a dead-end job, taking the bus to work each day. And it became a struggle to the point where I didn't know if I wanted to continue on, so I really needed a way out. So I tried different things to really get out of that situation. One of the things I tried doing was applying for more jobs. I sent out hundreds of resumes. I received no calls back, and that didn't really work out. Another thing I tried doing was going back to school, but school is a long-term play, and that didn't really pan out as quickly as I wanted it to. The other thing I did was I started writing. And when I started writing, within the first 6 months, I didn't know exactly what was going to happen from it. But within the first 6 months, my content was read 2 million times. And within a year and a half, it was read about 10 million times. From there, I started writing for Inc. magazine, Entrepreneur. I was featured in Forbes, Fast Company, Fortune, and a dozen other publications. And then I began winning awards for being a top marketing influencer. And I also had awards for my agency as well, Influence Tree. And I was able to write a best-selling book called Ditch the Act, Reveal the Surprising Power of the Real You for Greater Success. But none of this would have happened if I didn't focus on omni-channel marketing. And what omni-channel marketing is taking that pillar content that you're creating and putting it into as many places as possible. So what I did with my content is kind of like what I did is I shared the story with you right there. I took that story and I leveraged it to go even further, and I put top insights into what to do. So today we'll be talking about 3 different insights on what you could do to really go out there and stand out with your content. The first thing that you want to do is what we shared, is tell a story. Why do you want to tell a story? Is because it resonates with people. It gets them to really excited. Studies have shown that people relate more to stories than anything else in the world because they're able to relate and connect with you. And what you want the stories to do is you want people to read them and get to know, like, and trust you. And Hopefully, if that story resonates with them enough that they'll actually fall in love with you. And when people fall in love with you, that's when they do business with you. The next thing that you want to do is you want to share some of your top insights with people. These are the best tidbits of advice that you have. And the reason you want to share the very best things that you have is because you want to stand out and leave an impression in people's minds. So, with this, with this omni-channel marketing, what you have to do is when you're posting, let's say you're posting video content, most people will just focus and put it on just YouTube. But you don't want to just put it onto YouTube. You want to put it onto YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and every single other platform that you can possibly think of. You want to embed that. And if you're out there creating video content, you can also get this transcribed and turn it into a written article. And with that written article, you can put this video content into this written article. So now you have two pieces of content standing out there to really stand out and showcase yourself in the market. So that video lies within the content. So now you have two formats where the reader has a choice of either watching the video or reading the article. And you can put that article onto multiple places. You can put it onto your website. You can put it onto Quora. You can put it onto Medium. You can put it onto LinkedIn. You can put it onto Facebook. And there's a lot of different other places that you can put it. And then the next thing you want to really focus on is getting that content and getting it so more people can see it. So then you can use ad platforms to do that. Ad platforms are a great way to get additional exposure on your content so you can get more top of funnel leads coming into your business. So in order to do that, you could go out there and you could use ad platforms such as Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and so forth to really go out there and generate more viewers to the pieces of content that you're creating. Now, when you combine all these together, you have the ability to go out there and get additional views on your content, and you're taking additional channels instead of just your standard website, and you're using these to all drive traffic back to your original destination. This gets people to go down to your website, and if you have a funnel created, then you could turn these into paying clients for your business. So in order to do all this, you have to work together to tie all these elements together to really get that to work. So how does that all happen? When you take the content, you have to break it down into different pieces and different segments. So to go out there and create content, you would have to make top 10 lists. Like these are the top 10 ways to do something. And then when you create that, let's say tip number one is to let's say we're talking about let's say that we're talking about fitness tips, for example. Step one is to do jumping jacks. You want to go out there and you want to go and highlight 2 studies that talk about why jumping jacks really go out there and make people get more fit and really work with their diet. Why do you want to use 2? Because one could be a one-off, but once you have 2 pieces of research, that becomes more concrete and showcases something for exactly what it is. Next, what you want to do is you want to use an example of someone who's going out there and doing this. For example, with the omni-channel marketing content, Scott Altford, Neil Patel, a lot of top digital marketers, they follow this formula, and it's what really drives their business to success. In the fitness world, let's say, for example, Kate Upton or Leonardo DiCaprio had jumping jacks in their routine. By getting those names to stand out, you have a better ability to connect with the person who's reading or watching your content because they can relate to those names and they can see the results that jumping jacks are able to perform on that type of person. Next, what you want to do is you want to highlight an example of someone going out there and doing this with success. So you could take an institution or maybe like a fitness coach or something who provides advice on how to do it. Maybe someone who runs a popular celebrity renowned gym talks about jumping jacks himself. That way you have authority given back to the piece and you have a figure who's an authority in the space doing it. Then what you want to do is you want to create yourself to be the expert as well in that process. So what you do is you showcase yourself and your thought leadership of how you do jumping jacks and how you incorporate that into your routine to showcase that you are the expert, you do it yourself, and you see results too. The next thing you want to do is you want to highlight a line that showcases how other people can go out there and do jumping jacks on their own. So this way you're out there teaching and providing advice on how people can go out there and do this themselves. Now, a lot of people are scared about teaching other people how to do things because they think that a lot of people are going to go out there and do things for free. But a lot of people don't have the free time. So once they see that advice and they see that you're providing your expertise, they're going to reach out to you and ask you to provide your expertise to them. And that's going to generate more clients for your business. So what you have now is, if we showcase it all, is you have the type of advice you want. You have two pieces of expertise or research that highlights why this is great. You have expertise laid back by a thought leader. You have your own expertise that you share, and you have your celebrity example, and you also have how people could go out there and do them themselves. So now when you go out there, let's say you have this outline for 10 different things. That's when you go back and you look at all the top key points that really stand out. Let's say there's Leo DiCaprio and Kate Upton in this article. You could say at the very end, the secret workout tips that Kate Upton and Leonardo DiCaprio use to get into top tip shape, backed by research and science, because you have science and research elements that kind of tie it together, instead of going, oh, 10 things that you need to do to exercise better. So with the content that you create, it's going to end up being about 2,000 to 3,000 words, and it's going to have a lot of stellar content within it. And because you're going through this entire process, you're able to go out there and extract the data to go out there and make your content stand out. And since you have so many tidbits of information, you can pull out pieces within the piece, and you could use that as your social media intros for your social media platform. So maybe, let's say Leonardo DiCaprio, let's say, for example, he did 200 jumping jacks a day. You can do a social intro that says, did you know that Leonardo DiCaprio did 200 jumping jacks a day? Or let's say Kate Upton ate a special orange before her workout routine. Did you know that every morning Kate Upton started her routine with an orange, or something like that? And then once you have that all filled out, you have the ability to go out there and break that content into smaller little pieces to fit the different platforms. Let's say you make a video, you can turn those into like little 15 to 30 seconds to 1 minute clips, and you could have those be the standout videos talking about these specific people on TikTok. And you can use this content and you can break it down into so many different formats and so many different ways, all from this one stellar piece of content that you can use omni-channel marketing to go out there and make your content stand out in different ways on different platforms. So you could go out there and really make that omni-channel content marketing platform work for you. So this is how you make these thought leadership pieces that stand out that you use on your omni-channel marketing platforms. So in order to make a thought leadership piece, one of the things that you want to do is you want to make sure that your text is mobile friendly. That means that there's no more than 3 sentences in a specific paragraph. And the reason you want to do that is so it's very easy for people to really be able to read your content and it doesn't become too overwhelming for them. The next thing you want to do is you want to start with an idea. So for this example, we're going to go and work with exercise tips and to get into shape. One of the things that this one particular example would talk about is getting into the best shape of your life. So usually with this, we'll come up with about 10 things that really go out there and stand out to make something stick. So for this example, to get into best shape possible, there's a lot of things you could do, like doing jumping jacks, lunges, squats, push-ups, walking, drinking water, getting sleep, weightlifting, having a cheat day, and finding like-minded people to hang out with and exercise with. And what you want to do is you want to be vulnerable and expose your flaws and showcase them and what you're doing. And the reason for that is what people do is they naturally gravitate and connect with people who are like them. And since we're all flawed creatures, it's easy for us to make a better connection with people who are more flawed, just like us. So an example here is when I was a kid, I always got picked up. People would come up to me on lunch, pull me by the collar, stuff me in the bathroom, and give me swirlies. Like with that kind of line and with that kind of example, what was going on, people kind of build empathy because they're like, oh, this person was picked on as a kid. And it really makes people a little bit sad. And what really made me angry is when they stole my chocolate pudding on Fridays. So this shows a kid who was really getting picked on and bullied. And this showcases my former business partner and how his life was when he was growing up. So it was a little sad that he had to grow up like this. So it made him frustrated. In fact, it made him angry, so angry that he needed to do something to change this. And he didn't want to be picked on for the rest of his life. And that's why, and he knew that if he didn't do anything, he wouldn't make it past junior high. So growing up, he used to always watch Chuck Norris and MacGyver, and he used to watch those with his father. And he always said if he always just worked it out enough, he could be like Chuck Norris, or if he was smart enough, he could be like MacGyver. And if he was smart enough, he could MacGyver himself out of any situation. But little did he know that in fact, what he was saying was true. So because of those two people on TV that he worshiped, the results was he became to be in the best shape of his life. So when you kind of hear that, you kind of feel sorry for him at the very beginning, and you kind of gravitate towards him, and the empathy really builds out and stands out, so then people are really able to connect with you. So at this point, you transition and you use bullet points for your transitions. So right here it says, let me tell you about the 10 things I did to get my body just like Chuck Norris and my body just like Chuck Norris and my wit just like MacGyver. But don't take my word for it. I back all this up with science, but real life examples too, and how other people have done it. So now it gives them the opportunity to show exactly how to go out there and make, again, the best shape of your life. You have the ability to go out there and bullet point each thing off. So the first thing that he did was jumping jacks. And he starts this off by saying, you may think jumping jacks are stupid. You probably remember the last time your PE teacher, who had the wind blowing through his hair to the point where it looked like the devil had horns, kept making you count each jumping jack that you did out loud. And you may remember that feeling of humiliation when your jumping jacks were slightly off cadence of everyone around you in class. But let me tell you something, jumping jacks will get you ripped. Don't believe me? And right here, you could add in a personalized example of how this really goes out and stands out, and how you go out there and do this yourself. So now it says, I do 20 jumping jacks every single morning at 5 a.m. when I wake up. That gets my blood flowing to a point where I'm ready to take on the day without ever even having a coffee. So now you're showcasing how the jumping jacks are able to do something, and it takes away from something that a lot of people actually need to get energy in the day, and you're showing how this translates into a way for people to get energy instead as well. Then you could go out there and you could add an example of how someone is reading the article can make them do what you want them to do. So now you show them advice on how they could go out there and do this themselves. You can do jumping jacks each morning too by setting your alarm to your favorite workout song, then jumping straight out of bed to do your 20 in the morning. So now you have the opportunity and the time for when someone could go out there and do this. What you want to do next is you want to move on to the next point and repeat until you have all your points covered. And then what you want to do is, now that you have all this done, you want to go back. So you do this for point 2, point 3, point 4, point 5. So you talk about lunges, squats, push-ups, walking, drinking water, getting sleep, weightlifting, cheat day, and find like-minded people. So you basically create your whole article from there. Once you create this whole article, you want to go back to each of these points, and you want to add in research so that you could have something stand out and be substantial, so then more people understand that this is really something that works. So over here, it says, according to the health status calculator, an individual who weighs 200 pounds can burn 732 calories an hour by doing jumping jacks. I do 20 jumping jacks every single morning when I wake up. So do you see how you add that in right before your personalized example? Because more people are going to gravitate to that research first. And then once you have your personalized example, it kind of ties people into exactly what's going on. Then what you want to do is you want to add in the second piece of research to back your claims. So you add in your second piece of research right after your first piece. So it says, according to the National Health Calculator, but your second piece of research says Navy SEALs are about as tough as it gets. No one would ever think of trying to steal their chocolate pudding. In fact, Navy SEALs are known for having workouts that last for 48 hours. They test their strength in the most extreme conditions, pushing their bodies to the limits. Did you know that a key part to the rigid workouts incorporate calisthenics? And did you know that jumping jacks are considered calisthenics? They are. Navy SEALs do jumping jacks to build a base of stamina and strength. So now you have a bit more research in here. So you were able to really go out there and stand out for what you're going to do. Then what you want to do is you want to add in an example of a celebrity, a well-known person or a leader in the industry. So then you can showcase what they're doing. Sometimes if you add in an influencer who has a few 100,000 followers, they may be excited to see their name in your content, and they may also share it as well. So as opposed to just getting omni-channel views off of your own personal content, you could also go out there and get other people to go out there and share your content as well. So for this example, right after the research for the first piece of the research and the second piece of research, you could add in the celebrity example here. So let's say we went with a real celebrity. So there's a celebrity trainer and best-selling author. His name's David Kirch, and he has clients like Kate Upton, Jennifer Lopez, Heidi Klum, Anne Hathaway, and more. And he makes jumping jacks an integral part of his fitness training. He has clients place a resistance band around their ankles while they do jumping jacks for 30 seconds for extra results. Now, if you want to use someone who's popular on social media, who's not a celebrity, then you could use, if you've seen actor Sterling K. Brown anywhere on Instagram, you can see that he has abs of steel. That's because part of his workout routine is he does 50 jumping jacks every Monday of each week. So you could choose the type of example that you want to come up and add into there. Then what you want to do is you want to come up with an action-oriented call to action at the end and reference some tie into the beginning of the story to bring it all together. So right here it says, by doing these 10 things, you too can channel your inner Chuck Norris and tap into the mindset of MacGyver. The good news is that it doesn't cost money to gain access to these time-tested workout elements. Get in front of your bullies and with brawn and brain. And in these 6 months, you can stand up to anyone who grabs you by the collar and tries to give you a swirly. Go out there and start doing these 10 things today. So you're tying everything back into the beginning of the story, and you're using that as a conclusion. But what you want to do is you haven't created a headline for the piece yet. And the headline is what really gets you to stand out and stick out for this piece of content. So using the bullet points and everything that comes out inside it, you can say one of the body that people will gravitate towards, Navy SEALs, celebrity fitness traders, and science says, do these 10 things. Or it says, how, this is an alternate one that you could use. And it says, this is how you get a body like Chuck Norris, Kate Upton, or a Navy SEAL backed by science. So now you have a result-driven headline that people want based off things that people could relate to and look up towards and maybe idealize. And you're showing them how to get to the path that they want with a few different words in your headline. Let's say your target audience is people who are picked on and bullied. You could say, tired of being picked on and bullied? What if you could have the body of a Navy SEAL? So you're driving results for what people want. Then it comes to adding in the images. With the images, you want to name them in relation to the article, so your images pop up on these Google searches as well. And you want to find a picture for each of the bullet points and name each picture according to the bullet point as well. So what the final product looks like is something like this. You have a headline like this at the very top. You have a deck that really stands and sticks people out. You have a picture here. You have your introduction, which is from here to here. You have your segue. Then you have your bullet points for each one that you have. You have your research here, another piece of research. You have your celebrity example, and you want to showcase how to do it because you're the example and how the reader can take action right there. Then you repeat that through all of them, and then you put your call to action at the very end. Now, when you're on these various platforms and you're posting for omni-channel marketing purposes, you'll get analytics in each of them. For example, on Quora, this shows that I got 14.5 million views just from here. And then if I click on a specific post, it says how many post views I got on a specific piece of content. Like how to double your salary within 3 years. If you have a piece of content that you're looking to generate more work from, you can see how this content's distributed and the view flow for that. Anyways, that about does it for this content piece. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you for joining me for a piece on how to go out there and share omni-channel marketing content with the best content you possibly can.
Leonard, thank you for your final comments on the forum. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, before I extend this very important invitation very hurriedly to all of you, I just truly hope that you had a new experience at this eventful marathon that is hashtag ETDataCon, with its futuristic looking and feeling platform for your savvy senses. Well, our speakers did show the data-centric content and the experiences around marketing experience from data revolution to evolution. So let's be data literate. Well, the ones who've qualified will definitely win their Amazon gift vouchers. You'll be, of course, informed by the team shortly. With that, it's time now once again for the final time to give a big shout out to our presenting partner, Dell Technologies, our platinum partners being Tata Communication, NetApp, Hitachi Systems, Microclinic, and Commvault, along with IBM, Hitachi Vantara, and Logitech. Our gold partners being Juniper Networks, Exclusive Networks, Tenable, Zoom, Automation Anywhere, and Redington. Our associate partners being Cloudera, MoEngage, and Samsung STS. Our supporting association, Data Security Council of India, and our media partners being Analytics Insight and Silicon India. It wouldn't have been possible without your lovely support. Thank you very, very much to our partners. And with that, the most important thank you, as I always love to say, is reserved for my audience. Fantastic. It did feel heartening on behalf of ETH to be hosting you all. And with that, I love the Marconde. Hope you too did. Just in some time from now, okay. So this just tells me that it must have just started already. So we are gleaming with pride already. The confetti is blowing. The awardees are spotlit. The Economic Times Most Promising Tech Marketers 2021, the awards presentation ceremony is on. So all you need to do is just click on the MPTM track and join us right there. What are we waiting for? So let the most promising win there. Thank you so very much. This is your host, Shikha, signing off.